Yeah. So మనకి previous session లో so we created user. Okay, we created one user and we created an implementation project. Okay, so I told you already, I will provide one URL and credential details, which is a service account related, user 91, 92, 93, like that. So you're supposed to create your own account, your own your username and password. Then you have to work with that same username and password. You should not change anything on service account. Okay. So by this weekend, I will provide credentials like URL credentials. I will provide to you, and that means I will add you into the instance for practice group. Because there you will get the instances details. You can start your practice. So before that, I mean, by the weekend, we'll complete the enterprise structure configurations. First, you have to go through the videos and you have to learn about this, how we can configure it theoretically. Then, by seeing the videos or by, following your notebooks, then you can start your practice. Okay. So yesterday we created a user and we created a implementation project. Under the implementation project, we have to configure one primary ledger. So this is configuration part, like implementation for implementation activity for one particular company. Okay, so let's say we are configuring one company name is Sony 1. So this is the company, so you know that, right? Company, Sony company. So we have so many electronic items available from Sony company. So now the project is Sony. So we will configure configurations and setups for the Sony company. Okay. So in the earlier session, like we discussed on enterprise structure. While explaining about enterprise structure, so I told 4 main components. One is financial reporting structure, legal entities, and a configuration of ledgers and a business unit. They are the 4 components. So these 4 components is divided into 3 categories. Like first one is financial reporting structure. In this part, we have to configure calendars, okay, and chart of account and currencies, or whatever accounting method. We have to configure all those things in financial reporting category. And next one, like legal entities and the business unit. Sorry, legal entities and the primary ledgers. Nothing but ledger. And the third one is business unit. So these are the 3 main components we have to configure. So there is a dependency for the primary ledger. So to configure the primary ledger, we have to configure a financial reporting structure first. So as part of this, we have to configure accounting calendar, currencies, and accounting method. So once you have done this, using these components, you can create a primary ledger. Okay, so this is about primary ledger. So how we can, what is the primary ledger, how we can configure the primary ledger. So primary ledger is a placeholder to create a financial transactions or business transactions for a particular organization. Okay, so this primary ledger will include the transaction dates, okay, the set of accounting strings, currency, type of currencies, and method of accounting. So all these 4 activities, 4 components would be required to configure a primary ledger. So as part of that, we have to learn about calendar. What is calendar? What is chart of account? What is currency? And what is conversion method? So a theoretical part, we have already looked into that. Again, we'll explain you detail. So what is calendar, what is chart of account, what is currency, and what is accounting method. While discussing like, briefly, then we'll configure directly. Okay. So first one, calendar. So these forces are required for primary ledger. To configure the primary ledger, we need these four components. So got it right? So in this phase, we are configuring chart of accounts. Okay. So this phase, we have to configure calendar, currency, chart of account, and the accounting method. This is same for components you can see here. Okay. The first one, calendar. So what is calendar? Like how many type of calendars we have in Oracle Fusion? So in this calendar, we have, in interview point of view, may get the question on it. So how many calendars we have in Oracle Fusion? So you can say accounting calendar and a transactional calendar. So what is difference between accounting calendar and a transaction calendar? So accounting calendar is like it is a mandatory setup for the enterprise structure. Okay, so it will have entire year periods, multiple periods will consider for the accounting calendar. Okay, so this is a mandatory setup for one enterprise structure and will be considered for one primary lecture. But whereas this transactional calendar, it is not about particular periods or something reporting purpose, but this is related to like to identify the business hours, business hours. What are the business active hours and what are the holidays? What are the leaves? So that can be configured in a transactional calendar level. So that is not, transactional calendar is not related to a primary ledger or in a chart of account level. Okay, so this is entirely different. This transactional data, transactional calendar can be useful in a payable model. So in a payable model, while doing a payments, I will tell you how we can create a payable calendar. Okay, nothing but a transactional calendar. So while doing some payments, so this will be useful. Okay, to configure what are the business hours, what are the business working days. Okay, so those things can be configured in a transactional calendar. Okay, so coming to accounting calendar. So accounting calendar, again, calendar is two types. Formats are two types: calendar year and a fiscal year. What is difference between calendar year and a fiscal year? Generally, calendar year will start from the January 1st, ends with December 31st. So usually every calendar should have 12 months. Every calendar should have 12 months. So if the calendar started from the calendar, like a accounting calendar, so say accounting calendar started from January 1st and ended with December 1st as a normal calendar, then it is called a calendar year. Let's say like accounting calendar started with some other than the January 1st, if it is started with other month and ends with another month, like including 12 months. Let's say in our India, like we used to follow the financial year like from April to March 31st. So this is financial year. Okay, so in books of accounts, we used to follow the April 1st to March 31st. It is not a calendar year, it is a fiscal year. The difference between calendar year and fiscal year is calendar year and accounting calendar year format is followed as a calendar from January to December. So generally US and some other countries used to follow the same format. Okay, January to December 31st. That is a calendar year. And the fiscal year is in India, we used to follow the fiscal year calendar, like as an accounting calendar, we used to follow this fiscal year. Means fiscal year means it will start with any of the month and ends with including 12 months. After 12 months, it will ends with the other month. Okay, if it is started from April, it will be closed with the March. So this is Indian calendar, Indian financial calendar. Okay, and this is Australian calendar. Australian financial calendar started from July and ends with June. So whatever calendar, like we fiscal calendar or calendar year. So whatever two calendars, 2 years of formats will include 12 months. Okay, 12 months is a mandatory thing. Whenever it will be started, but it ends with 12 months. Okay, got it? So here you can see there are quarters. So every 3 months can be considered as a one quarter. In 1 year, we will have 4 quarters. Every 3 months can be considered as a quarter. Okay, so this is quarter. Okay, so period frequencies, we have monthly frequency. If you take monthly frequency, you will see 12 periods. You will see 12 periods. If you take weekly frequency, then every month will have 4 or 5 weeks, right? So like that, in year, you can get 52 weeks, 52 periods. So periods frequency. Period frequency, if you take monthly, 12 periods you will get. If you take weekly, we'll get 52 weeks, 52 weeks, nothing but 52 periods. If you take quarterly, like you can see here, how many quarters we have? 4 quarters. Every 3 months can be considered as a one period. Then you will get a 4 periods. If you take yearly period, entire year can be considered as a period. Then there is no, periods, monthly periods, weekly periods, or quarterly. Then entire year can be considered as a one period. Okay, that period January is your start date and the end date will be December 31st. So for this one period, so the best practice is monthly, this one and okay, so every client used to follow this one. So there are very rare cases they used to follow quarterly or weekly. So I never seen any client used to follow that. So and again one more option we have, adjusting period, adjustment period. Okay, we have options like 1 year adjustment period, twice year adjustment period. Means every half year you can see adjustment period. Quarterly you can get the quarterly, or if you want to choose your option according to your requirement, you can choose it. One more thing, this adjustment period will be populated only for GLN, not for subledgers. That is only for GL. Okay, so I just shown examples here. If you configure a calendar for normal calendar format and a fiscal year format, how it would be showcased. Okay, so let's configure one calendar. Go to the application. Okay, so now we are configuring the calendar. Go to setup and maintenance. Go to task, manage implementation projects, search for your project. So yesterday we created one project, open it. Okay, here you can search for your accounting calendar. Okay, so here you can see there are options. In that options, you can expand and you can verify, or you can search from task list. In this task search button. So the setup is here you can see manage accounting calendar. Okay, search for manage accounting calendar. There you can see this is the task. Click on manage accounting calendar. Okay, so there you can see there are two type of calendars, accounting calendar and the transaction calendar. So now it is required mandatory for accounting calendar. Transaction calendar is an optional calendar. So click on go to task button to create a calendar. So now we are configuring a calendar for Sony company. Okay, click on plus button to create a calendar. Calendar. Okay, start date would be, so this is still it is 2025, right? You can consider 2024 as a start date, or January 1st, January 1st, 2024. So always make sure like if you are doing configuration in current month, like if you are doing whatever setups in the current month, then you have to consider open first period start date should be in the previous year. Okay, so here see, enter a start date that is full year before the start date of the year first transactional period you enter for your ledger. Okay, that means if you are doing current year, like whatever the year you are doing now, so make sure that the previous the start date whatever you are giving, that should have one entire year should be considered for one like a start date. So now we are in 2025, right? You can give 2024. Okay, start date as a 2024. So nothing will be impacted, but it is useful for the translation process. So you can see the frequencies here, period frequencies. We discussed it, right? There are different frequencies, yearly, weekly, quarterly, and monthly. So these are the weekly, the 445, 454, and 544. These are the weekly. And if you say like, if you take quarterly, there are 3 months. In quarter, there are 3 months. What is mean? Like one month, like January, February, March. These three are one quarter. Let's say January will have 4 weeks. February will have 4 weeks. Maybe March will have 5 weeks, like that. So we can consider within one quarter, 2 months will have 4 weeks and 1 month will have 5 weeks. Like that, we can consider it. So best practice, you can take monthly. So this is define prefix value. So now we can see period, first period is January 24. So if you say Sony here, then you can see the period name frequency is changed. First is added as Sony. So this is optional. It is not a mandatory thing. You can add it or you can remove it. Okay, this separator, and so between Jan 24 there is a symbol. If you want to add other symbol, you can add. If you don't want to add anything, then it will show like this. Okay, like that you can select one separator. Okay, so format is calendar year we selected. Since we are following January 1st to December 31st. Okay, I'm just selected format calendar year. We have a different calendar formats, right? Calendar and a fiscal year. Calendar year and a fiscal year. So since we are following we are configuring company like a Sony company under US country. And so we used to, we have to select the currency, USD currency, and we have to follow the current calendar as a US calendar. Okay, so that is a best practice while doing the learning level. We used to select the US country. So basically, if you select Asian countries, sometime you will get some issues at a subliges level. Okay, so better to avoid that issues. Then you can select USD currency, USD like country, like then you will get very less issues. Okay, so then I selected calendar year January 24. That's fine. So here you can see adjusting periods. Adjusting periods you can see twice a year, once a year. Okay, once at middle twice at once middle year and twice at a year end. So there are different options. If you want to select any option, you can select quarterly. So here I show you that. So what are the frequencies we have? What are the adjustments we have? Right? Everything whatever we discussed here, that is showcasing here. Okay, so you can select year at end. Okay, so next click on next button. So defaultly system will create the calendar for year. So this is for 2024. Okay, so here you can see adjusting period. Adjusting period is created for a December year. You can see adjustment period, the date, start date and end date. Generally start date and date from month first to end of the month. Every month, first date to end date. But here adjusting period, start date and end date is same. So adjustment period will be created for only one day. That is end of the day of period. Okay, last period, December 31st, December period, the last date, 31st date will be considered as a adjusting period. Okay, so just save it first. Do not save and close. So this is only 2024 is created, but now we are in 2025. We have to add one more year here. Okay, to add one more year, now just click on the save button. Okay, now you can see add year button enabled. Add year button enabled. Just click on add year, then automatically next year will be added. Okay, this is 2025. You can see the list here, 2024 and 2025. Both are available. So now we are in 2025. If you want to see 2024, you can click 2024. It will show 2024. If you want to change to 2024 to 2025, then you can see 2025 as well. Okay, so now we added current year. Now we can save and close. Click on save and close. So calendar is created. Okay, now if you want to search for your calendar, you can search it. Yeah, so even calendar. Done. Calendar is created. The next setup is manage currencies. So manage currencies, we don't need to configure a new currencies. Okay, System already provided already active currencies. You can click on manage currencies. Okay, go to task button. You can search for USD currency, whether it is enabled or not. So you can see USD currency is available. Make sure it is enabled and make sure it is not end dated or started in the future. So if it is started in future or end dated previous date or it is not enabled, then you cannot act on USD currency. Make sure whatever the functional currency you are following, that should be enabled, and start date should be a previous date, end date should be a future date. Then only it will be active. If the end date it is in the previous date, like not current date, previous date, or started in a future date, so any one of that, so then it will not a active currency. Okay, so you have to make sure it should be enabled and currently active. Save and close. So manage currencies, we enabled our currency. Next setup is chart of account. Okay, so let's see chart of account. So what is chart of account? Like how we can configure our segments. So generally chart of account level. So first we'll decide how many segments should be required. What are the required segments for the Sony company? So based on business process, we decided to take 5 segments. One is company, department, accounts, location, and a future one. So why we select the future one, future two segments? If you see in a real time, every company, whatever the company implemented Oracle Fusion, they used to follow one segment as a future one, because once the COA is deployed, you cannot modify it. You cannot add new segments in future. Okay, so once the COA is deployed, you cannot add more segments in future. That's why in the future purpose, if you want to, we don't know, in future maybe we would required to maintain additional segment. So for that, in a future purpose, we can create a future one segment even if you don't use currently. Okay, so maybe in future it can be utilized. As of now, we can put it as a dummy, but in future it can be used for another purpose. Okay, so like that's why we used to create a future one. Okay, after 5 years, if you want to add, after, let's say if you configured only this 4 segments, in future after 5 years, if you want to add one more reference related segment, then system will not allow you. So if you already created a future one, after 5 years, you can utilize this one. Okay, you can utilize this one, the reference value, whatever you are looking for, you can add values under this future one segment. Okay, so this is segments we are going to configure. Okay, so as we discussed, right? So for the segments, we have to configure value set first. So whatever segments we have, we decided these segments, right? Company, cost center, account, department, product and a feature one. These are the values we have to segment values we have to configure in our Sony company. So for that, we have to configure value set first. Let's go to the application. So at value set level, what we have to configure is, so length, first length. First company, how many length we have to consider. Okay, So usually you don't maintain thousands of or hundreds of companies in our organization, maximum double digits. Okay, so 20 or 30 maximum, let's say 10 companies we can maintain. So if you have uh, established your company at 10 locations or 20 locations, you can put as 2 digits maximum. Okay, then you can add up to 99 companies under your group of companies, under, that's a 99 registered companies under one group. So if you put 3 digit, then you can enter 999 companies. Okay, so like that. So that is our choice, and you can if you put a length 2 digits or 3 digits or 4 digits, so it is just for identification, or it is the unique identification for purpose we used to add this length. Okay, and also it will allow the maximum number of values based on your length. Okay, so let's say instead of department, you can put as a cost center. Okay, cost center nothing but department or cost center base, same. Okay, so account values we can put a 5 you know length, like 5 length means you can create 99,000 triple nine. Okay, so that then it is better. I mean, in real time and accounting segments, there are thousands of account values. Okay, so every transaction, every expenses or purchases, sales, everything we have to create a account. So in that case, we can maintain in few cases, like in few companies, they used to maintain 6 to 7 length. Okay, that is their requirement. So better to maintain small length, and because this accounting string will be it will get more length, it will difficult to maintain it. Okay, so and also segments also. So here we have a ability to maintain, okay, 30, maximum 30 segments we can create. Okay, system allows you to create a segments up to 30, but the best practice you can say is maximum 10 you can create, because if you create more segments, then the accounting string will be I mean, it will take 30 segments like this. This is 5 segments string, you can see like this. If you create 30 segments, again 30 values will be added like. So again, for the reporting purpose, or for a viewing purpose, it will very difficult if you take more than 10. So best practice is maximum 10, or very good to maintain 5 to 6 segments. Okay, very few clients I have seen, they are maintaining 7 to 8 segments. Okay, so this is segments level. That first we are creating a value set. Let's see, these are the things we are considering for this Sony company segment values. So for these segments, we have to create a value set. Let's create a value set. So here we have a setup, manage chart of account value sets. Here you can type it, and here you can type it, manage chart of account value sets. Search it, there you can see this is the setup, manage chart of account value sets. Click on here. So you can click on go to task button. Okay, click on plus button to create a new value set. So here you can see there is a search button. If you have already created some value sets, you can search it here. Manage chart of account value set level, you can search it here. but we did not created anything, right? Now we are creating a new one. Let's create a new value set. Click on plus button. Okay, first one, company value set. Okay, let's say here. Yeah, so company value set. First, we have to give me one underscore company value set. So copy it first. So module is GLN, general ledger. You can see here, general ledger. So validation type, you can put as independent. So here a different type of validations. Okay, different type of validations. Format only. If you put format, so the free text value, you cannot use it. You cannot configure other values. Only format it can be shown. So whatever the prefix values we have created, those values will be considered. We cannot add more values if you take format value. And independent. If you take independent, what are the values you are creating under this value set? Then there is no dependency. Okay, so it will not ask any dependent values. If you take dependent, okay, here it will ask again another independent value. Okay, parent value, child value, like that. So fixed assets level, I will show you that. So fixed assets level, we used to maintain dependent and independent validation types. So currently you just select so independent. So others like a subset and tables. If you want to maintain some queries, if you want to carry the values from somewhere like from lookups, then you can create with the value subset or tables. It is related to query related. If you select table, then it will ask from and where clauses. So you can put the conditions here from where we have to capture the value set values. Okay. But select independent. So next value data type. So you can put a character. If you want to maintain only number, you can put number. If you want to put the dates, you can put the date and time. Okay. So since we are considering number and alphabets, then you can select a character. Okay. If you select a number, system will allow you to create only number, not other alphabets. Okay. Value subtype, you can select a text. You can see there are other options. Okay. Maximum length. What is the maximum length? For company, we are giving 2. Okay. You can provide more and there are many. Okay. So, but you can select 2. That means you can create up to 99. 2 digits means 99. Up to 99 values you can enter under company value set. Okay, so if you consider like a minimum value, how much value you have to provide, maximum value, how much value you have to provide. Okay, so here uppercase, if you are considering, if you are entering a text, then you have to enter only uppercase. If you enable this, so system will allow you to create a value set value with the uppercase. If you enter a lowercase, system will show you the error. And zero fill. So let's say if you are providing 3 digits, okay, if you are entering one value, then it will fill remaining values with the zeros, front values zeros. Okay, 001, 002, like that. Okay. So automatically, if you want to fill the zeros, then you can enable the 0. Okay, these are not mandatory things. This is optional features provided by Oracle. Okay, just save it first. Okay, save and close. Again, click on one more. Now we are creating department. Now create a cost center. Cost center value set. Okay, next cost center value set. So for the cost center value set, we are giving 3 division. Length is 3 digits. Okay, let's give Sony one cost center. Model is GL model, general ledger model. Select independent, character, text. You can give 3. Okay, save and close. Again, plus button. Create a account value set. Give general ledger, independent, character, and text. So 5. For account, we are giving 5 1. Just save it. So this is security enabled. This is feature enabled. Okay, at instance level, we can enable this one. So if you want to put some conditions on value set, then you can enable the security rule. So we have a functionality, and while discussing GL functionalities, I will cover this topic. Okay, so we are just doing a setup now. This is not a functional related setup, like now it is not required. This is not a mandatory as of now. So while doing the functional testing, then we'll cover this topic. Okay, account value set created. Next is location or product. You can consider as a product. Instead of location, I can create a product. Click on plus button. Product. Product value set. Model GL. Independent. Character. And text. You can give 4. Maximum length is 4. Save and close. Again, click on plus button. Create a future one. So if you do several type of like multiple times practice, then you will get a better idea. So very first time you are seeing, right? So you may get some confusion, but while doing the practice, you will get a better idea. Okay. Now we created a Sony company value sets, right? Just Sony one, just search it. So whatever value set we created, okay, you can see here. There are 5 value set has been created under Sony one. Let me check with the Sony if any other created. So there is no other Sony values, only Sony one. A company, okay, account, company, cost center, feature one, product one. So these are the values we created. Okay, right. So these values we can, if you want to upload some values under this, I will show you that after this completion, like while creating a values, I will show you that how we can import bulk values as well. So first, this setup is completed. Okay, this creating a value set is completed. Next one is structures and account structures. So this level we used to configure structure level. What we have to configure? So key flex field value we have to configure, and segment level fields like segment labels we have to assign. Okay, backend segment fields should be selected, and the value set, whatever the value set we selected, that should be added here. Okay, before that, I will explain what is a flex field, and now we are configuring key flex field. Since we are configuring key flex field, we should know about how many flex fields we have, what is a key flex field, what is other flex field values. Okay, so let me give some brief on flex fields. Okay, so flex fields, this is like generally Oracle Fusion will provide some standard screens. Okay, standard standard functionalities. If you want to add more, more fields or more, screens on the uh, standard screen. Okay, on the standard screen, if you want to add more fields based on your business objects, based on your business need, okay, you can create additional fields. You can create additional fields, or you can add, required fields as per your requirement. That is called a flex field availability. Okay, so in flex fields you can use based on your business purpose. So the flex fields whatever we are configuring, now we are configuring this is also flex field. Okay, these are the values: company, department, account, location, feature one. This is called as a flex fields. Okay, these flex fields we are configuring based on your business requirement. So not all the companies will create the same flex fields. Like now we are configuring company. Few companies like they will create a fund, source one. Okay. So like that, naming convention can be changed. Okay. Key flex field naming convention can be changed. Number of key flex fields can be changed. Here we are considering 5 segments. Okay. Company, department, account, location, feature one. These are the requirement for our organization. So only one company related value sets, sorry, segments. Let's say ABC Limited Company. ABC Limited Company wants to create a source or fund instead of company, department instead of cost center, account, that is fine. And instead of location, they used to maintain project. In feature one, they want to use feature one and feature two as well. Okay, like that, company to company segments can be changed. So based on your business object, you can create as of your requirement. As you required, you can create a key flex fields. So, okay, this is a flex field. Okay, now we'll see how many flex fields we have. Okay, so we have a 3 type of flex fields: key flex field, descriptive flex field, and extensible flex fields. So what is difference between these flex fields? So let's say this is the flex field, this is the flex field, but this flex field can be considered as a key flex field. Okay, let's say what is a key flex field? So this is a mandatory flex field. Okay, key flex field, like in a chart of account, if you want to maintain, if you want to create a enterprise structure for your company, you have to create your chart of account. In a chart of account, you have to configure your own segments. Segments are very mandatory for a chart of account. Chart of account is mandatory for primary ledger. Primary ledger is mandatory to record a business transactions. Okay, so that's why key flex fields are mandatory. So as I told that these key flex fields are, based on business requirement, we can configure. So company to company, these key flex field names and lengths or number of key flex field can be changed. I will show you where we can configure the key flex fields. And one more flex field is descriptive flex field. This is additional values we have to, if you want to add reference names like okay. So I will show you that descriptive flex fields and extensible flex fields in a technical concept level. So as of now, we can configure the key flex fields. In future, like in a functionality level, I will show you how we can configure descriptive flex fields and extensible flex fields. So what is a descriptive flex field? Let's say from source, like we are creating in the standard screen, we have 10 fields, like we are entering some data. But based on customer requirement, every transaction level, we have to give some reference data. Okay, let's say we are creating supplier invoice. Okay, in the current system, in current standard screen, okay, there is no feasibility to provide the supplier reference details and invoice reference details. So then what we can do is we can create some descriptive flex fields, and this is a mandatory. It is not a mandatory. This is optional. Based on customer requirement, we can configure the descriptive flex fields. So here you can add fields and you can add reference data on screen, front end screen. So for this flex fields configuration, we don't need a backend access. As I told you that we have three type of subscriptions: PaaS, IaaS, SaaS. Right? We are working on SaaS subscription now. Okay, so you told that if you want to make any changes, then we have to take the subscription of PaaS. But here, for this, additional fields like key flex fields or descriptive flex fields or extensible flex fields, we don't need access of PaaS level. We don't need backend table access. We can configure it in the front end level. Okay, so this is comes under SaaS. It's not a PaaS or IaaS. Okay, so I will explain briefly while we are doing a configuration of a descriptive flex field and extensible. These both are same, and descriptive flex fields and extensible flex fields are same. But only thing is here it is very limited. Okay, this is this contextual data, whatever the field, we cannot connect with one field to another field. In descriptive flex fields level, we can configure, we can create separate fields, individual fields. Not it, we cannot interrelated, we cannot map with one field to another field. That is a descriptive flex field. But whereas extensible flex field, we can connect with one field to another field. Okay, so let's say employee job, employee name. Okay, if you select employee, then employee related positions will be populated. Okay, employee job, we can select the job. So under the job, how many employees are available? Employee A is available. You can pick it. So like that, if you want to maintain, if you want to create some hierarchy level, like parent value, child values, like that, you can create extensible flex fields. So here we have connectivity one field to another field. But whereas descriptive flex field, it is individual field. Like you cannot connect with one field to another field. Okay, if you want to maintain three values, okay, you cannot connect with another one to one. You can create three individual fields. Okay, so this is extensible and descriptive flex fields. Now we are discussing key flex fields. It is a mandatory flex fields, like key flex field example, segments. Whatever the segments we are creating, these consider as a key flex fields. Let's configure the key flex fields. Okay. So to configure key flex fields, we have to go to manage chart of account structures. Go to the application, search for manage chart of account structures. Click on manage chart of account structures. Go to task button. There you can see manage chart of account structures. Click on search button. This is the key flex field. This is a key flex field name. In general ledger level, we have only one key flex field. Under this key flex field, we can configure our key flex field values. Okay. GL level, how many key flex fields are available? And we have only one key flex field under GL. So this is application in general ledger, nothing but GL. Under we have key flex field, accounting flex field. Under accounting flex field, we can configure our required segments. Nothing but a key flex field. Okay, select it and manage structures. So there are three activities we have to do here. First one, manage structures, manage structure instances. Next, deployment. Okay, first select it and go to manage structures. Okay, now click on plus button to create our own structure. Sony 1 COA KFF. Okay, or structure. Okay, just select it, put the same here. Okay, delimiter, you can select dash symbol. So delimiter means if you see here, okay, this is the accounting string. In the middle of every segment, you can see dash symbol. Okay, this is called a delimiter. If you want to maintain a different delimiters, you can select it. So there are a different type of delimiters available. Tilt symbol, okay. So every symbol we have. So best option is you can put a dash symbol to identify easily. So in few cases, I saw that this one dot full stop button. So like that, we can select anything you can select. And for testing purpose, you can select anything, nothing to worry. So here the plus button and edit button disabled. Okay. So once it is saved, don't save and close, just click on save. Then you can see the plus button is enabled. Click on plus button. You can add the segment code. So how many segments we needed? And so we created 5 segment value sets we created. So same related, we are creating some same segments. Segments nothing but key flex fields. So first company segment. Just copy it. API name will be defaulted and nothing to added here. We should not add anything here. System will defaultly created. Sequence number 1. So sequence means it will populate at the beginning. At the beginning in this this accounting string, if you want to populate the company string, company value at the beginning, then you can put it as a sequence 1. If you want to put this one, let's say company, if you want to maintain in the middle, you can put it as a 3, sequence 3, like that. Okay, I just created a sequence number 1. So shortcut name, you can put CO. So make sure it is enabled. Display length, you can put 15 or 20. So don't touch this range type. And okay, go to column name. There are segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Like there are many options you can see. Search. How many segments we can create? And 30 segments we can create. You can see 30 segments. So I told you, right? So we can create a maximum 30 key flex fields. How many key flex fields we can create? 30. Key flex field nothing but segment. How many segments we can create? Maximum 30. Okay, these are the segments 30. So first segment, I can select the segment 1. Okay. Okay. So I told you now. So for company, what is the segment label we have to provide? Primary balancing segment. Search for primary balancing segment from here. So you can find it. Select it and move it. So make sure this segment label should not be repeated to another segments. Okay. While creating another segments, okay, department and other segments, you should not provide the same label. One label for one segment. That's it. You cannot use the same label for multiple segments. Okay, make sure company should have a primary balancing segment, not other segment labels. Only company can have only primary balancing segment. Okay, this is a default value set. Here, whatever value sets we created, then you can find it from the drop down list. Go to search for Sony 1 company. Here you can see these are the value set we created previously. Select company value set, Sony 1 company value set. Okay, now it is just click on save button. Now the company value set is created. Okay, so now it is gray outed, like now we cannot change it. Click on save and close. Now you can see company value set is created. Click on plus button again. Now cost center. Now cost center. Same process for the cost center as well. Sequence is 2. Shortcut is CC. And you can put 20. Segment column name, we have given 1, right? 1 cannot be used it again. So now we can select segment 2. And here you can search for Sony 1 cost center value set. Okay, we created cost center value set, right? Let's search for cost center value set. This is the cost center value set. Again, so this is optional, and if you want to add the segment label, you can add it or you can ignore it. And this is optional, not mandatory. For the cost center segment label is not a mandatory, say optional. If you want to add it, you can add only cost center segment. Otherwise, you can ignore it and you can leave it. Don't need to provide a segment label. So only required for expenses reports. And if you are working expenses module, then you can provide this label, segment label to cost center segment label to cost center segment. Otherwise, you can ignore it. Okay, save it, save and close. Next one, click on plus button. Accountant. Next is accounts. Add account. Sequence is 3. Shortcut name ACC. You can put length 20. Next, segment 3. 2 is already selected. Since 2 is already selected, you should not select the 3. Sorry, 2. Now selected 3. Again, search for your account value set. Select account value set. Now it is a mandatory to add segment label, natural account segment label. See here, natural account segment label. Add it. Save. Okay, so make sure account segment should have natural account segment. This natural account segment should not assign to any other segment values, and it is not duplicated to another segments. Make sure every segment label should be assigned only once. It should not enable or should not be add to another segment multiple times. And make sure this account value, account segment should have natural account segment label. Okay, save and close. Next one, product. Click on plus button, add product. Not enter in API. Now the sequence is 4. Shortcut name, I am providing shortcut name. So display is 20. Now the sequence is 4, right? Based on that, I can select a segment value 4. This is 4th value, right? That's why I selected 4. Now search for your value set, product value set, company, Sony product value set. Nothing here, segment labels are not important. So it is not mandatory. Just save it, save and close. Again, plus button to create a future one. Okay, let me create it again. So future one. So don't give future and you should provide a future one because it can be duplicated. Okay, so just give future one, not future. Okay, a few 20. So this is the 5th one, right? So just give 5, segment 5. So don't select range type and so search for your segment value, value set value, Sony 1, future 1 value set. Now the label is not mandatory. You can leave it and save and close. There you can see we have created 5 segments. We have created a 5 segments: segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4, segment 5. Okay, this is enabled. Save it first and save and close. If you want to search for your code, you can search for Sony 1. There you can see your structure name. Make sure if you don't make any mistake while creating a structure. So if you have any doubts, please go through the videos multiple times, then you can do the practice. Make note everything. First, make note everything. So what is the procedure, how we can create values, everything you have to note it down. Then the same, whatever you noted, you can put it on setup level. Okay. So if you don't make any notes like this, so here I have make everything clear. Okay, so this is for your reference and I will share this sheet after this configuration is completed. Then you can follow this sheet and you can configure as per the sheet. Okay, for this to make your perfectness. So I'm not suggesting you this sheet always follow. Okay, so first time like when you are doing initial practice, it will helpful for your practice, like a smooth practices. Like you should not get any error. You should not make any mistakes. Okay, that's why this will be helpful for your initial practice. Later you can do your own practice. Okay, so now you can see deployment status is changed to edited. Previous it was a green tick. Now it is edited. Now select this and go to manage structure instances. So here you can create your own structure instance. Click on plus button. Sony 1 COA structure instance. Okay, just copy it, put a name, description, Okay, so it is enabled. Make sure this is optional and like this is a functionality actually. Dynamic combination creation allowed. This is functionality. Shorthand alliance functionality. Okay, so you can enable this as of now. This dynamic combination is you can enable it now. Now we can see structure name. Whatever the structure we created previously, that can be find it here. Okay, so let's search for the Sony one. So this is the one, Sony one we created, Sony one COA structure. Once you selected the values, whatever we created, segment values, whatever we created, everything will be pop up here. So just select one by one, click on edit button, make it required button enabled. So these all are functionalities and default and tree structure. Okay, we'll discuss these functionalities while GL functionality level. Okay, now we are doing setups, but I will come back here and I will explain the functionality level. Okay, so as of now it is not required. Make sure select each and every segment, make it a required button enabled. Okay, now we created one structure instance. Okay, just save it, save and close. So if you want to search for your structure instance, you can see here. This is structure instance we created. So like that, we can create multiple structure instances using the same structure. You can create multiple structure instances. Okay, so you can click on plus button again. Now we can find it and see that Sony one. You can find it here where it is Sony structure. Sorry, Sony COA structure. You can select it and you can create one more structure instance you can create, but you can enable only required fields we have. Segments me covers, sorry, whatever required segments we have, we can select it as a required. And you can disable this one option and you can change the, you can go here, you can change the value set code, value set values as well. Okay, you can configure tree functionalities. You can configure default value types. Okay, based on requirement, you can create multiple structure instances using the same structure which we created, chart of account structure. Okay, so this is we created one structure instance. Okay, so first structure level we created one structure and structure instances we created. Now we have to do the deployment. Let's do the deployment. It will take 5 to 10 minutes time. Let's do it. So while doing this deployment, you should not change, you should not close the screen. So let's it completed. So warnings, it is fine. If you get warnings, it is fine, but you should not get the error. Okay, you can expand this button. Like you can see what is the errors, what is the warnings. So somebody like created SMV. This is the name and somebody created this one like a SMVBSV account. So somebody did some mistake here. So instance name is this. So if you want to verify it, you can verify it. So if you get some error, if you expand it, you can see what is the structure instance, what is the structure we got the error. There you can go and verify it. Okay. So after this completed, we can show how we can verify it. So as of now, there is no errors. Okay. Only if you got error, then it will stop the deployment. Deployment get error. Deployment will not be completed if you got the errors. So even you got the warnings, it will complete the process. Warnings is not an issue, but errors is a big issue. Then we have to fix the errors, then only you can process again deployment. Okay, let's complete the deployment process. I will keep in pause for some time. So I will provide vision instance and for your practice. Okay. So by this weekend you will get the access for practice. Okay. So vision instance will helpful to you to create multiple chart of accounts and multiple deployments. Okay. When you create multiple companies, multiple chart of accounts, multiple calendars. So this will makes you uh, very good hands-on application. So in licensed application, like so you don't see any like IT security console rules. But thing is, once you configured company, then you don't need to create multiple times. Then same company can do the practices. But what happens like you cannot learn more and you cannot learn more. Okay, so maybe after 10 days, if I ask something about setups, you may get confused, like you will not get the answer immediately. So if you practice on Vision instance, every time, every 10 days or 15 days, system will be refreshed, then you have to configure your own company again and again. Then you will get a good hands-on practice. Okay, so better to use only Vision instance for your practice. Okay, and one more thing, so you have to confirm your enrollment and people who are joining as of now. So from next week onwards, I will not share everyone the invite. Okay, this invite will be restricted to people who are enrolled, who are confirmed to continue the course. Okay, so I will remove the people who are not active in the group. Okay, who are not attending the sessions. I can see there are many people, but we'll remove them. So people who you are attending, right? So confirmation in the form of payment and okay. So you have to pay some amount or total amount for our enrollment confirmation. Once you confirmed, then can continue course. Okay. Yeah. Now the deployment is successful. You can see deployment completed successfully. Click on OK button. You should get the deployment success. Now the deployment status is green. Okay, click on done button. Right. Go to the setups. Okay, the deployment is successful. Now what we have to do is we have to enter the values. Okay, so these are the things we completed. Structure instance deployment is completed. Now value set values we have to configure. So value set values and whatever ledgers, but those things will be covered in the next session. Okay, right. Any questions and anybody? Any questions? You can unmute and you can ask your questions. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll meet in next session.
Thank you, sir.